Thanks, Manvi. Yeah. So now that she has said all that, now please forget everything. So first of all, I'm actually not that much on social media. So and it might be surprising that I do not have a travel blog, and I actually don't create that much content with the intent of creating content like this. So just very quickly, I know we are running a little behind schedule, but just to give a quick background, I started traveling independently about 20 years back, and when I started, there was no Facebook, there was no blogging, there was nothing. So I did not start with the intention of creating content or anything. I just started traveling because I thought this is where I wanted to invest my time and my money and my effort and my everything. So that's what happened, and by God's grace, I continued to travel as I continued in my professional journey. Then I have 2 small kids now, and I continue to travel even with the kids, sometimes without the kids, and all sorts of possible permutations and combinations. So as of now, I've been to around 60 countries. And what happened somewhere was that everybody kept asking me, how do you manage traveling so much? Like, how do you do this? And I always thought that there is no big deal into it. I mean, especially now, it's become so much more easier than it was when I started traveling. Like, just book your tickets and go. And I could not fathom what is it that is stopping people. That's when I started talking to my friends, and I realized that there are a couple of blocks that people have, and that's what I started addressing in my workshop. Right? And because of the workshop, I got to meet all these interesting travelers who are out there doing so much more and doing so much more interesting stuff. So that's my journey. I didn't have a Facebook page for the longest time. I work in a digital marketing company. I advise a lot of clients on what their digital strategy should be. So consider it as my mark of rebellion that I didn't want to have a Facebook page. Then somebody in my office started a page and started posting weird things on it, and I said, okay, now I need to take it. And so when that page happened, then I started putting a little bit of information about the workshops and this and that, and that's how it grew. So to quickly tell you now from a very contrarian point of view, is that first of all, when you're traveling, don't travel with social media in your mind. Okay, I know I'm saying something which is like probably completely opposite the topic, but please, first of all, travel for the sake of traveling. Then if you feel like putting some content up there for others to see, for others to read, for others to help, do it. And then these days you can choose whatever form you want. You can just Periscope, you can Snapchat, you can write, you can do Instagrams with pictures, because not everybody is good at writing, not everybody is good at photography. So whatever it is that you want to do, right? So do that. That is my biggest tip to you. And the reason why it will come forth in your blogs and in your posts is because people will see your passion. People will see that you're traveling for the sake of traveling, and you're traveling because you're really passionate towards traveling. And then when your passion comes through, that's what makes your blog shine, and that's what makes your content shine. So I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
Though you are not generating that kind of content, you have enviable following. Or not just online, offline as well, right? Wherever you go, you are able to get people for your workshop. So that is the point.
I wish I knew the answer to very clearly, because who doesn't want more followers on their social media? In fact, this was a debate which was going on today on Twitter while I was chatting with somebody when they were talking about how a young person from his organization just went ahead and bought followers online just to increase his followership, so he could command more bang for his buck. Because what has happened today is marketers and brands, and I think it's come from the agency side of things, where agencies are now saying that, okay, itna followers hai, to itna paisa hai. It has become to that kind of a negotiation where people look at commoditizing your brand as or commoditizing your identity on social media. don't. I kind of agree with Anshu saying that don't do those things based on will this get me more followers. I think if you're genuine with what you do, you will get followers on your own. I don't care about my followers going from 2,000 to 5,000 overnight as much as I care about me relating and they relating to me. So if it's organic growth, it's much better than bot growth or even doing it through a strategy and saying that okay, my followership is not. But having said that, I think one of the things you can definitely do, some of the things which you can do to get more followers, more legit followers, is participating in conversations. Don't make it something which is feeding information only. Make it a conversation. Because if you're on social media, you can't always be talking about, hey, I am so and so and I did this. Because people don't care only about your achievements or what you've done, but they also want, if you are able to answer their queries, if you're able to help them with their planning, then you're definitely going to get more engagement, then you're going to get more people following you because you're giving them value. So be a value giver as opposed to being a value taker.
Photography was our USP. So it was, and because that we were putting out good pictures, people were following up photographs. So, and by the time we became more active on things like Facebook, I mean, we still don't, it's quite chaotic the way we do our social media activity. But then by the time we got onto Facebook and Twitter and all of that stuff, we had loyal followers on our strong medium like Flickr and Tumblr. So it was easy. So if you would put up, some Facebook links and stuff there, they would, because they knew us, we had interacted about photography and stuff, they would come onto social media. So I think what also matters is like the medium that you choose, and whatever works best for you, that is what you have to choose. And like Kaushal said, numbers really don't matter. I mean, that was one of the reasons I chose to just speak about the reactions that we were getting. I mean, if you want your blog and all of your social media activity and all of that stuff to actually sustain, you have to have something passionate, and those numbers are not really going to drive your passion. I mean, it is more like one comment from Lynn is like more precious than like 100 other followers, random followers who are just there for the sake of it. So, yeah.
By an organization called Urban Leaves, I volunteer wherein we grow vegetables on a terrace. It's quite insane, you should check it out. Ask me in case anything is interested later. So the point there is that, there's monocropping, which is followed by agriculture in general, and then there's companion cropping. What happens in monocropping is that after a year or so, you get a crazy harvest. You get like 10 times the amount of harvest that you would get as compared to monocropping. But after a couple of years, the soil quality degrades completely, and then you have to leave that land altogether and take another land. Same example here. Choose your platform wisely and then make a good recipe of the 2 or 3 platforms that you're good at. If you're good at photography and writing, then choose that. If you're good at audio, then choose podcasts and that. And damn it, stick to it. The consistency, I think one thing that was not mentioned here is the consistency. So if you're consistent, I am not consistent. I tried. But if we are consistent, then that's going to rock your boat.
Which might give you fast followers. Basically, when you post something, that time you are looking forward to get a good response and likes or something for this. So that time you have to be, after posting, just don't sit back and relax. That time you go on other sites, other profiles, start commenting, and that is when they are going to come back to you to see your fresh posts. Okay, that's really important that you have to be very active, like post promotion sort of for yourself, and that will get you more followers immediately.